Happy Star Wars Day! For this special deep dive, we're venturing into a really fascinating, often overlooked aspect of the galaxy far, far away.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
The information networks. Surprisingly sophisticated stuff powering everything we see on screen.
Ah, right. That makes sense. While we're all watching the lightsabers and the Millennium Falcon, yeah, underneath there's this complex web of data. It's just as crucial to the story, really.
Exactly.
Like an invisible engine driving galactic events, you could say.
Yeah, forget the Jedi for just a second. Let's think about something, well, maybe equally powerful
Mm.
information. Because when you look closely, at the historical accounts, firsthand observations,
Mm-hmm.
and even some of those classified imperial documents that have surfaced, you realize what we call data is absolutely essential over there.
Even if they don't, use that specific word in a Mos Eisley cantina.
Right, exactly. So our mission today, then, is to sort of pull back the curtain on this whole hidden world of galactic-scale data management.
That's the plan.
We'll look at the Holonet. Yep, Holonet.
The Empire's data vaults, those crazy vaults,
Mm-hmm.
and how the rebels tried to, work around it all.
Yeah, they're clever strategies. And get ready for some surprising connections, because you'll start to see some really interesting parallels between how information flows and is managed in Star Wars and, well, our own world.
Just on a slightly bigger scale.
A galaxy-spanning scale, yeah. So where do we even begin with this galactic information network?
Well, I think the logical starting point has to be the foundation, right? The Holonet, Galactic Communications Central.
Yeah, Holonet, okay.
It's way more than just, sending messages across light years. It's the infrastructure for governance, for military ops, maybe even more critical in a galaxy so often at war.
Okay, let's break down the Holonet then. Picture this. A super-fast information highway stretching across countless planet-star systems.
And incredibly quick. You mentioned the speed. They use these subspace relay stations. The speeds are genuinely impressive.
How fast are we talking?
Well, within the core worlds, the dense part of the galaxy, information travel time is often less than a second.
Wow, less than a second.
Yeah, and even out to the outer rim territories, the lag is typically under 5 seconds.
That's still amazing across those distances.
It is, and that kind of near real-time communication, absolutely vital for coordinating anything galaxy-wide, whether it's the Republic trying to keep order or the Empire, projecting its power.
And it's not just people chatting, is it? It sounds like there's a priority system. Certain data gets the express lane.
Precisely. Critical stuff like urgent voice comms between commanders, hyperspace jump coordinates, absolutely essential stuff.
Can't get those wrong?
Definitely not. And real-time tactical updates from battles, they get top priority. Civilian traffic, well, it has to wait.
Really shows how vital that immediate data flow is for control, for warfare.
Absolutely.
It makes you wonder about the tech behind it all. I mean, spanning stars. What's making it tick?
Well, what's fascinating is when you dig into some technical descriptions, you see these echoes of our own advanced tech. Imagine, really robust, hardened computer systems.
Mini data centers, almost.
Yeah, mini data centers on every Star Destroyer, on key planets, probably running sophisticated software, maybe something like our Kubernetes, managing tasks across loads of machines.
Like digital air traffic control for all the processes across a fleet.
Exactly. And handling those massive streams of sensor data, constant orders flying back and forth, they'd need systems built for that kind of volume, like our message brokers, Kafka maybe, ensuring nothing gets lost.
Speed and reliability are key.
Totally. And how do these mini centers talk across space?
Secure links, I assume?
Highly secure, yeah. Encoded links through subspace, probably using efficient methods like gRPC maybe for data transfer, and crucially, they'd have a backup plan.
Like a store and forward thing.
Exactly. Connection drops. Data is held safely until it's back up. The network has to survive the chaos of space, right?
Okay, so the Holonet is this incredible communication web. But where does all that info live? Let's talk storage. It can't just float in subspace.
You're absolutely right. Data storage, the Empire and the Republic before it used what we'd recognize as a multi-layered approach, a tiered system.
Multi-layered. Okay, break that down. Different levels of storage.
Yeah, think about how fast you need the data. We can call them hot, warm, and cold tiers. The hot tier is for immediate real-time stuff.
Like on a warship.
Exactly. On every major ship, you'd find super fast memory-based storage, like Redis or Memcached maybe. Instant access to targeting data, combat orders.
Stuff needed right now. Split-second decisions.
Precisely. And for slightly less urgent but still vital data, like sensor streams, They'd use time series databases, think InfluxDB or TimescaleDB.
Capturing data over time.
Right. But interestingly, older sensor data might get downsampled, summonized after maybe just 24 hours, focus on the immediate, perhaps less on keeping every tiny detail long term.
Makes sense. Don't need every sensor ping from yesterday if you're in a fight today. So what's the warm tier for?
That's for data accessed regularly, but not constantly. Daily summaries, logs, think object storage like our S3, maybe Ceph or Minio in their universe, holding daily ship logs, surveillance video feeds, records of interdictions, stuff like that.
So bigger picture, less immediate stuff.
Yeah, and also distributed file systems, maybe like HDFS or Lustre for just massive data dumps from planetary sensors. Imagine the sheer volume from one planet daily.
Wow, okay. That is a lot piling up. Does it just stay warm forever? What about the really old stuff?
Good question. For long-term archiving, historical records, that's the cold tier. Super durable, secure storage, maybe like our tape libraries or Glacier, or perhaps those encrypted data shard crystals we see sometimes.
Built to last centuries.
Exactly. And to find anything in this massive tiered system, you need a sophisticated catalog, like a galactic library index, maybe something akin to Apache Iceberg or AWS Glue, tracking what's where.
It shows they really valued historical data, even if it wasn't needed daily.
Definitely. The Empire kept records.
So they're collecting, storing, but they're also using it, right? That brings us to compute power, turning raw data into actionable intelligence.
Exactly. Raw data is one thing, useful insights are another. That's where their advanced compute and processing really shines.
How are they doing that analysis? What kind of systems?
Well, for spotting things as they happen, enemy ships jumping in, unusual activity, tracking rebel movements, they'd likely use real-time stream processing. Think Apache Flink or Kafka streams, analyzing data the moment it arrives.
Setting off alarm bells instantly if a rebel ship appears.
Precisely. And for the really big, complex stuff, predicting battle outcomes, finding hidden patterns in huge data sets, they'd use massive batch processing on powerful compute clusters.
Like Kubernetes or Mesos on bare metal?
Could be running things like Spark jobs, training machine learning models with maybe TensorFlow. Imagine running galaxy-scale Monte Carlo simulations to predict war
With
outcomes.
serious number crunching. AI must be huge for them.
Absolutely. The role of, say, GPU or TPU farms, it's central. Sources hint at these massive AI training pods in the Coruscant Fault, mirrored regionally for backup. Shows how much the Empire relied on advanced computation, AI.
For strategy, for control,
Yeah,
everything.
pretty much. And their overall approach seems to lean towards what we might call a Kappa-style architecture.
Kappa style.
Yeah, where the real-time stream of data is the primary source of truth. Everything flows through these live pipelines, and they create materialized views, summaries for dashboards and tactical displays as needed. Very flexible, very fast.
Okay, so collection, storage, processing, check. But making sense of it all for analysts and commanders, that feels like the next step, a unified platform.
You've hit on a crucial point. It wasn't just about having the data, it was about extracting value to maintain control. That's where a unified data platform or maybe a lakehouse concept comes in.
A lakehouse. Like combining a data lake and a data warehouse.
Sort of, yeah. Something like Delta Lake, or maybe Databricks Lakehouse in our terms. A platform allowing both that real-time streaming ingestion and complex analytical queries by, say, ISB analysts.
So the spies could see live data and dig through history.
Exactly. And for generating those big reports, those fear indices you mentioned, tracking descent, or resource consumption across sectors, they'd need powerful data warehousing engines. Think Snowflake or Redshift Spectrum.
Fear indices. That's chillingly data-driven control. And was this just for the top brass?
Apparently not entirely. Sources suggest user-friendly BI tools like Looker or Tableau equivalents were deployed at strategic command levels.
So a fleet admiral could just pull up incident histories directly.
Seems like it, but giving them direct access through, usable interfaces.
It's almost unsettling how advanced it sounds. But with all that data flying around, security must have been priority number one, right? Protecting their own stuff, maybe
Yeah.
grabbing rebel intel.
Absolutely paramount. Protecting that vast network and its data, the sources point to some very robust security, governance, and resilience measures.
Like what? How do you secure data across a galaxy?
Strong encryption, for starters, both in transit data moving across subspace links, probably AES 256 or similar, with maybe quantum-resistant key exchange.
Future-proofing.
Right. And encryption at rest for stored data. using techniques like envelope encryption with a central key management service, probably locked down tight in the Imperial Palace.
Sounds tough to crack. What about inside their own networks?
Yeah.
Preventing insider threats.
Likely a zero-trust network approach. No device or user trusted by default. Using things like service meshes, Istio, linkered equivalents between their microservices to enforce really strict security policies. Verify everything.
Even internal comms are locked down.
Okay.
And managing all this data,
Yeah.
knowing who accessed what when.
Data governance. Crucial. They'd need catalogs like Apache Atlas or Calibra to track data provenance. Who created what, who viewed it when. Essential for accountability, security audits.
Gotcha. And what if the worst happens? A vault gets hit in an attack? Disaster recovery.
Had to be robust. Sources mention active data vaults on key worlds. Coruscant, Edu, Balmora, constantly replicating data between them in near real time over the Holonet.
So if Coruscant falls,
The data survives on Edu or Balmora highlights how critical data survival was.
we focused on the big central systems, but what about out on the edges? Remote systems, fighters. How did data work there?
Good point. That brings in edge intelligence and caching. Think about astromech droids like our friend R2-D2.
More than just mechanics.
Oh, yeah. They were like mini mobile edge compute devices.
Edge compute, like processing data locally.
Exactly. Astromechs could cache vital navigation data and encrypted orders locally. Meant TIE fighters could operate even if cut off from the main network.
Smart. They could even do some analysis themselves.
Preliminary stuff, yeah. Basic anomaly detection. Giving fighters a degree of autonomy. It's a clever distributed intelligence model.
So the droids are little data nodes. Cool. How about getting big updates out to everyone, everywhere? Maps, targeting data.
Probably a CDN-style mesh content delivery network, but galactic. Distributing large updates, sensor model weights, maybe using peer-to-peer subspace multicasting to hit every system efficiently without jamming the Holonet.
It's just so clear how data underpins everything. It's not background noise, it's power, it's control. And we see that over and over in the saga, don't we?
Absolutely. They might not always say data, but intelligence, information. It's a constant, crucial theme. Think about Mon Mothma.
Many Bothans die.
To bring us this information. Exactly. Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
That one line. The cost, the value of intel. Specifically, the second Death Star's shield generator info. Without that data,
The rebellion was toast.
pretty much, and the whole plot of Rogue One, it's a data heist.
Right, the opening crawl. Rebel spies managed to steal the plans to the Empire's ultimate weapon. Those plans, that data, that was the key to the whole thing.
And even subtle moments show the Empire's reach. Cassian Andor in the Rogue One novelization warning Jyn, "You're being tracked. Their data sweep is thorough."
Tells you everything about their pervasive sensor network. Always watching, always logging.
Yeah. And think back to the Clone Wars. We saw admirals, Jedi using intercepted comms traffic to predict separatist moves. That's classic big data tactics right there in the Republic era.
Absolutely. And the Inquisitors and Rebels?
Hunting Force sensitives using ISB-style profiling, cross-referencing travel records, custom scans, fusing data points to find their targets, shows the Empire's data fusion power.
It's interesting. There isn't like a formal Galactic Data Privacy Act, is there?
Yeah.
But there are definitely rules, norms around information.
That's a really sharp observation. No single code, but you see different rules in play. Holonet broadcast regulations needing licenses, facing censorship under the Empire,
Right.
data retention policies for planetary sensor logs. Even the Jedi archives had strict protocols for accessing sensitive stuff.
It highlights that tension, doesn't it? Information access versus privacy and control. The Republic had that nominal right to privacy.
Which the Empire's surveillance edict basically threw out the airlock.
Yeah, you see the contrast. Rebels favoring secure, maybe temporary comms, versus the Empire's registry doctrine trying to log everyone.
Exactly. Or the Jedi banning Sith holocrons' dangerous data while the Empire secretly restarts cloning research, reversing data bans when it suits them. Data packs, mandatory consolidation decrees. It's all about controlling the flow of information.
It just keeps coming back to the sheer scale of Imperial data, trying to wrap your head around the volume. It's mind-boggling.
It truly is. The Holonet backbone carrying who knows how much data across the galaxy. That central data vault on Coruscant, a fortress holding personnel files, Jedi secrets, everything.
Plus the regional vaults mirroring it all, storing local sensor feeds.
And the sensors themselves, live telemetry from countless ships, probes, we're talking exabytes per day, easily. Then add the social data the ISB must have crunched. Zettabytes, maybe. Analyzing for thought crime.
It's a galaxy awash in data. There are tiered storage, distributed across planets. even droids as edge nodes, buffering data. It's an incredible fictional infrastructure.
And using analytics for predictive invasion planning, enforcing the Tarkin doctrine by watching those fear indices. Information wasn't just stored, it was the infrastructure of imperial power.
It's genuinely fascinating, isn't it? Seeing how a galaxy far, far away deals with the same core data challenges we face. Collection, storage, analysis, security, governance.
From predicting enemy attacks to controlling populations, information is undeniably a massive force in the Star Wars universe.
Hopefully this deep dive has given you, a new perspective, a look at the unseen data networks driving the whole saga.
Maybe next time you watch a Star Wars movie or show, you'll spot those moments where information or the fight for it is really what's pushing the story forward.
Yeah, definitely something to think about. And on this Star Wars day, may the Force be with you.